Beneath the golden African sun stretches the vast savanna, an endless sea of grass dotted with acacia trees and teeming with life. This sweeping landscape hums with the rhythms of nature, where predator and prey play out the ancient dance of survival. At the heart of this wilderness rules a pride of lions, powerful and regal. Leading them is Baruti, a magnificent male lion whose presence alone commands respect. With a thick, dark mane flowing like a warrior's cloak and amber eyes that miss nothing, Baruti is more than just a leader. He is a symbol of strength and balance. Each thunderous step he takes echoes through the plains, marking his territory and sending a silent warning to rivals. Baruti's role extends beyond power. He is protector of the pride, guarding lionesses and cubs from danger. His roars, deep and resonant, carry for miles, a reminder that this land belongs to him. In the delicate web of the savanna ecosystem, Baruti's dominance ensures order, his presence helping maintain the natural balance between predator and prey. He is not only king of the pride, but a vital guardian of the savanna itself. Tensions begin to simmer on the edge of the savanna. In nearby villages, cattle have gone missing, some found mauled, others vanished without a trace. Though no clear evidence points to Baruti or his pride, whispers quickly grow into rumors. Fear spreads like wildfire, and soon blame falls on the majestic lion who once roamed unchallenged. To the villagers, Baruti is no longer just a distant guardian of the wild. He is a threat. Livelihoods hang in the balance, and demands for action grow louder. The delicate bond between humans and wildlife begins to fray, fueled by uncertainty and fear. Amid the unrest arrives a foreign trophy hunter, lured by tales of a legendary lion with a mane like fire and eyes like molten gold. With official permission and promises of protection, the hunter sets out to track Baruti. He is armed not just with a rifle, but with the confidence of someone who sees the savanna as a battlefield for glory. Now, the fate of a king and the fragile balance of the ecosystem hangs in the shadow of a single loaded weapon. The sun rises over the savanna, casting long shadows across the golden grass as a wealthy hunter's camp is erected near the edge of lion territory. Tents, supplies, and gleaming weapons mark the beginning of a dangerous mission. The hunter, clad in expensive gear and brimming with confidence, surveys the land with practiced eyes. He is not here for survival. He is here for a trophy. Local trackers, hired for their knowledge of the terrain, lead the way. They move with quiet precision, reading the subtle signs of the wild: paw prints in the dust, a broken branch, the distant echo of a lion's roar. The tension thickens with each step deeper into the savanna. Baruti, however, is not unaware. From a shaded rise in the distance, the great lion watches. His amber eyes track the intruders, his instincts sharpened by years of defending his land. He senses the shift in the air, the unfamiliar scent of danger. The hunters think they are closing in on him, but Baruti knows these lands like his own breath. The trap is set, but it may not be the lion who is walking into it. Suspense coils tightly across the plains, ready to snap. Baruti stirs beneath the shade of an acacia tree, his ears twitching, nostrils flaring. Something is wrong. The air carries an unfamiliar scent, metallic, foreign, laced with intent. His muscles tense as instinct flares within him, a primal warning honed by years of survival. He rises, powerful and silent, and casts a glance at his pride resting nearby. With a low rumble, he signals them to stay back, herding the lionesses and cubs deeper into the bush. Whatever this is, it is his burden to face alone. Driven by a blend of curiosity and caution, Baruti follows the trail of scent and disturbed earth. The sun blazes overhead as he moves through tall grass, each step purposeful, silent. But he does not know what awaits him. Ahead, hidden among the brush, the hunter lies in wait. The trap is perfect. As Baruti enters the clearing, a sudden click breaks the silence. The ambush has begun. From the cover of tall grass, the hunter's finger tightens on the trigger. Through the scope, he sees Baruti, majestic, powerful, unaware of the crosshairs aligned on his chest. A sharp crack shatters. The silence as the rifle fires. The bullet strikes true. Baruti staggers, a crimson bloom spreading across his shoulder. The echo of the shot rolls across the plains. The trackers cheer, voices rising in triumph. To them, the hunt is over. The legend has fallen. But then, silence. Baruti does not collapse. He does not flee. Blood staining his golden coat, he lifts his massive head and locks eyes with the hunter. There is no fear in his gaze, no rage, only something deeper. A quiet strength. A question. A judgment. The hunter lowers his rifle slightly, caught off guard by the lion's unflinching presence. For a long moment, the world holds its breath. Baruti stands, wounded but unbroken, as if daring the hunter to understand the cost of what he's done. In that gaze, something shifts, an ancient unspoken connection between predator and man, not of dominance, but of consequence. Baruti sways but does not fall. With labored breaths and slow, deliberate steps, he turns away from the clearing. Blood drips with each movement as he limps toward a distant thicket of tall grass and thorny bush. Confused but eager to claim his trophy, the hunter follows, rifle lowered but ready, curiosity replacing celebration. The trackers trail behind in silence, their cheers now fading under the weight of something they cannot yet name. Baruti reaches the edge of the bush and pauses, then lowers himself with a heavy groan. There, nestled in the grass, are two tiny lion cubs, wide-eyed and trembling. Orphaned, defenseless, hidden from the world. Baruti's massive frame settles beside them, shielding their fragile bodies with the last of his strength. The scene halts the hunter in his tracks. This was never about territory. Baruti had not been on the prowl. He had been protecting. Not his pride, but the helpless young left behind by a lost lioness, a guardian to the end. As the great lion lets out one final breath, his eyes meet the hunter's once more. But now, the look is not a challenge. It is a plea for understanding, for mercy, for the future of those he leaves behind. Baruti's final act is not one of defiance, but of love. And in that moment, the hunter realizes the true cost of his pursuit. Silence blankets the savanna, like a heavy fog. The jubilant mood vanishes, replaced by a stunned stillness. The local trackers, once proud to guide the hunt, stand frozen. Their eyes fixed on the fallen lion and the two trembling cubs beneath his lifeless body. Even the hunter, seasoned and sure, feels the weight of what has unfolded. The rifle in his hands now seems heavier, meaningless. Baruti's final act wasn't a desperate attempt to survive. It was a deliberate choice to protect, to shield innocence with his dying breath. Guilt creeps into the hearts of the onlookers. The lines between legend and threat, beast and guardian blur. Whispers of awe and regret pass between the men, but no words can undo what's been done. In the hush that follows, Baruti's silent message lingers in the air. Some lives are not trophies. They are guardians of something greater. The hunter approaches slowly, each step heavier than the last. The thrill of victory has long since vanished, replaced by a hollow ache that grows with every glance at the lifeless form before him. He kneels beside Baruti, his eyes tracing the rise and fall of the lion's now still chest. The cubs nestled against their protector's side. This was not the savage predator he had imagined. This was no beast. Baruti had stood his ground not out of pride but out of love, for cubs that were not his by blood but by duty. The realization crashes down like a wave. He hadn't killed a trophy. He had killed a guardian, a father. The hunter's breath catches and his hands begin to tremble. Slowly, he removes the rifle from his shoulder and lays it gently on the ground. The weapon that once symbolized control now feels like a burden too great to bear. Without a word, he stands, eyes still locked on the lion's body, then turns and walks away. No cheers, no prize, just silence. Behind him, the cubs remain, and the savanna sways softly in the breeze, as if mourning with him, As the sun dips low over the savanna, casting a golden glow on the land, the cubs are gently lifted from Baruti's duty. The villagers and trackers, once wary of the lions, now cradle the tiny creatures with unexpected tenderness. There is no talk of trophies now, only of preservation, of redemption. The cubs are taken to a nearby wildlife rescue center, where they will be cared for and eventually reintroduced into protected lands. News of Baruti's final act spreads quickly, carried by word of mouth, photographs, and headlines around the globe. The story of the lion who gave his life not in rage, but in love, touches hearts far beyond the plains of Africa. Suddenly, lions are no longer seen simply as fearsome predators or symbols of conquest. People begin to see them as they are, sentient, loyal, protective. Baruti becomes more than a name. He becomes a symbol of the bond between wild creatures and the world they share with humans. In death, Baruti achieves what few ever could in life. He changes minds, inspires compassion, and reminds the world that nobility lives not just in kings, but in lions too. Years pass, but the memory of Baruti does not fade. Near the place where he made his final stand, a small bronze statue is erected. Baruti, poised and proud with two lion cubs nestled at his side. It stands not as a monument to his death, but to his courage, his sacrifice, and his unwavering instinct to protect. The cubs grow up safely under the care of conservationists, thriving in the protected reserves where Baruti once roamed. Strong and healthy, they carry forward his legacy, not just in blood but in spirit. The hunter, once driven by pride and the lure of conquest, is no longer the man who pulled the trigger. Haunted and humbled by what he witnessed, he now uses his wealth to fund anti-poaching initiatives and wildlife education across Africa. His actions, inspired by the lion he once sought to kill, help protect countless others. Baruti's story becomes more than legend. It becomes a catalyst. Communities once fearful now join hands in conservation. Children grow up hearing the tale of the lion, who chose to shield instead of strike. Governments and global organizations rally around new protections for Africa's wildlife. Baruti's final act didn't just save two cubs. It awakened a movement, one that sees the savanna not as a hunting ground, but as sacred land worth defending. His spirit lives on, not only in the grasslands but in every heart changed by the lion who loved